Hello, my name is Eric, and I'm going to show you a very simple way to play a very cool song so that if you're just beginning to play guitar and you're wanting to play things for your friends or for your parents or whatever, you'll have something that sounds good. And you know, when I say something that sounds good that's simple, not many songs do. You get into songs that if you try to play a simple version of them, people can't recognize them. But there's songs like Wild Thing, one of the first ones you'll learn. I'm sure you already got that from somewhere. Just And that song, since I already know that one, I'm not going to show you that one. But one I've never seen anybody play in a simple way is Jumpin Jack Flash. Because most people play Jumpin Jack Flash, I think they're down here somewhere on the neck, moving up, and that's kind of a little bit more advanced, and it's harder to do for some people. So we can play Jumpin Jack Flash with some of those basic simple chords. And the chords we're going to be using are A, G, C, and D. And that's it. And they cycle back and forth. But the beginning sounds like this. And that's nothing but an A and a G. And you're not going to believe me, but that's what it is. It's A. Didn't sound the same that time, but that's because I just played the A and played the G. But if you jump around a little bit with your finger like this, see, open and close that A. And all I'm doing is just opening and closing that A. And sometimes we're actually playing like this with nothing. So it's just A, open, A, and then go to the G. And when you're doing the G, you do the same thing. You pick your fingers up and press them down. So sometimes you're actually playing nothing, and sometimes you're playing a G. And sometimes you're muting out the G. When you lift the strings and press the strings, you're actually making the strings start singing and stop singing. So here you go. You see that? After you've played for a few weeks or a few months, you'll develop an ear for what you're playing, and you'll get to feel that I want this sound, and your mind will just automatically say, well, if I want that sound, I need to be putting that finger down there on that A. Now the second half of the song is going to be chord C, G, D, and A. D as in dog, A. C, G, D, and A. So we're going to sing, and the words that go with it, here we are. And if you start throwing in your words, then you don't have to do anything fancy with this. But it's all right now, in fact it's a guess, yeah, it's all right. Jumpin' Jack Flash is a gas, gas, gas. And trust me, if you're just starting to play the guitar, it ain't going to be easy to do that. In fact, it took me 8 years before I could sing and play at the same time. So you might want to have a friend sing for you. But once you get past the introduction, which has to sound, introduction has to catch people's attention and they have to recognize it so that they know what's going on. And you will with this one, because so then people, you got their attention, they know what you're doing, especially if you turn up your distortion, it sounds just like Rolling Stones, and you know, make it loud and however you adjust your amp. But then you get to the second part, it's not going to be that fancy, but that doesn't have to be, because if you're singing, but it's all right, and now in fact it's a guess. See, people aren't going to be paying attention to that. But once you've played for a while and you get a little bit more comfortable, you can make some sloppy transitions between your C, G, D, and A, and it'll sound a lot more like the Rolling Stones version. And what I do is I'll take my little finger in the C and I come down on the 2nd string's 3rd fret. Get a little bit more advanced, you take, go right to that G by sloppily taking your fingers off and playing while you're removing your fingers. And in the G, we're taking our pointing finger and we're coming down on the 1st fret, 2nd string, 1st fret with that. We go into our D. You just play a D, but one you'll see come up every now and then is D suspended 4, where you take your little finger down on this. But you might want to wait until you get a little bit better before you start doing that. But you play the D. So here we go. We're going to go right through the song here. Well, we'll do the intro and everything. I was born and crossed by a hurricane, and I howled in my mind in the driving rain. But it's all right now. In fact, it's a gas. It's all right. Jumpin Jack Flash is a gas, gas, gas. You'll eventually get it.